You know, in a previous episode of Extreme Reloading, we talked a lot about different ways of measuring and obviously then sorting bullets. And what we learned from that episode is that there's actually only a couple of very repeatable measures that we can use. And what I mean by repeatability is the idea that I can take a bullet and I can measure that bullet one way or the other, and then I can measure that bullet, same way, a second time, and the answer or the measurement that comes out of that bullet will be exactly the same as the first time, second time, third time, whatever, that I measure that same bullet. One of those very repeatable measures is weighing the bullet. Very easy and very fast to do if you have a good scale and you have that scale calibrated. Another one of the very repeatable measures is the base to ogive measurement. And to obtain that, I was using the Hornady lock and load bullet comparator kit. And it works really, really well. If you want to see how that's done, simply tune in to that previous episode and you'll see all those steps involved. But this also gave me a very repeatable measure. Some of the other measurements that we were trying to use, I would get measurements, but they really weren't very repeatable. So what I've been able to do then is once I have some very good ways of measuring those bullets, I was then able to sort those bullets by those different ways of measuring them. And one of the ways, of course, is just to use weight-sorted bullets. This box right here contains 168.1 grain Sierra-tipped Match King bullets. And another measurement that I have is that base to ogive measurement. Now, every one of the bullets that I have here, and I actually have a few more, has a base to ogive length of 0.629, measured to the thousandth of an inch. And these bullets are also all 168.1 grains in weight. They are very consistent and uniform bullets. I'm going to be shooting 5 rounds with 168.1 grain bullets, 5 rounds with that bunch of bullets sorted by base to ogive length and weight of the bullet. I've got another set of 5 rounds I'll be firing that were simply base to ogive sorted bullets, and the base to ogive length was uniform in that set, but the weights varied a little bit by a few tenths of a grain. And the last set of 5 rounds that I'm going to be firing today are what you might call inconsistent, non-uniform bullets. I simply grabbed bullets out of a box and, well, I purposely made sure that they weren't even accidentally uniform. So we are going to be shooting bullets that vary in weight and they vary in that base to ogive length. And I'm going to go ahead and get it all started off, kind of warm up a little bit with some dry fire practice on a dry bore, and I'm going to put a few fouler rounds downrange before I start shooting these different groups for this test. What I'm wondering is, does it matter at all that we are measuring and sorting all these different bullets? And of course, this level of effort gets kind of extreme, which is some of the stuff that we do on this channel. But one thing I'm not interested in doing is wasting my time. If weight sorting or making different measurements and sorting by those measurements doesn't really make a difference, I'm not going to bother with it in the future. And what is going to be considered making a difference? Well, normally my Ruger precision rifle can shoot a 5-shot group with 0.7, right around there, 0.7 MOA. If I have one of these sets of sorted bullets that gives me a better group than that, quite a bit better. Let's say I'm starting to get a 0.6 MOA, maybe even a 0.65 MOA. I might say that there might be something to that, and I'll want to pursue that a little bit more. if we're all coming in at about that same 0.7, sometimes even 1 MOA, then there's nothing to that bullet sorting, and it becomes one of those reloaders voodoo type of things. So to set this up before we head out to the range, I already told you I'll be firing those 4 5-shot groups at 100 yards off the bench, and going to run my lab radar chronograph simultaneously. We'll look at the precision of those groups, in other words, the extreme spread, measure the MOA, and we're also going to be looking at the consistency of these rounds, looking specifically at the standard deviation of the muzzle velocities. Now, all of these rounds are loaded into Lapua weight-sorted Lapua brass using match primers and RL15. This is an optimal charge weight that has been developed for these Sierra tipped Match King bullets. Now, I think that covers the bases. I'm ready to head out and see how it all goes. Really nice. Pretty much flying in the same place. A little bit high and to the left. Stringing. Pretty good. One more. Here. Next we could. That one dropped a little low. Right in the bullseye though, so that's nice. That's looking good. That's slow. A little high. 5. A little bit lower. Faster. Well, surprise, surprise. I am actually really surprised. I thought that those extremely uniform bullets, weight sorted and sorted by base to ogive length, I thought those would really tighten up my groups, but they didn't. It really didn't make much difference at all. In fact, what we're seeing is that my first group with the weight sorted bullets, these again were all 168.1 grain Sierra tipped Match Kings. You know, they did okay. Gave me about that 1 MOA, just a little bit above, but I'm not going to worry about that. Then when I shot the base to ogive, or what I wrote down, OB sorted bullets, I got essentially the exact same thing, a 1 MOA group. And then the one that I thought would really turn out well was doing really well to start with. That last round, you probably saw it, flew high. I don't think it was me. I really don't. Felt like I shot really well. Very careful, good squeeze of the trigger, felt like. And I got a 1.48. If that one didn't fly, you know, it still probably would have been 1 MOA type of group. These are 1-inch squares, and that kind of fits inside there. I think that's what it is. I'll make a measurement and just see if this was a flyer. But then this one, completely unsorted. This gave me that good old 0.68 MOA group, 0.7 right there. That's what it does when it does well, this Ruger Precision rifle. Now, I'll give you a little bit more information about that. I already told you that this is 168.1 grain bullets. Base to ogive, the bullet weight on these were 167.9 all the way through 168.1. So they varied by a couple tenths of a grain. The highly uniform bullets, again, were all 168.1 grains, and they had that 0.629 base to ogive length. And the last one, the inconsistent bullets, varied in weight from, get a load of this, 167.8 to 168.4 grains. That's over half a grain difference, and I shot a nice group. So let's chalk that one up to a little bit of reloader's voodoo, and I'm not going to bother weight sorting my bullets in the future. I just don't see the advantage of doing that. Haven't seen it, and the proof is not in the pudding. Hey, thanks a lot for watching this video, and don't forget, tune in next time. We're going to be heading back out to the range, doing a little bit more reloading for this .308 Winchester. See you then.